The thing that interested me from the start was the distance control, because I know how important that is, and it's important to get the ball to the hole the right distance. It doesn't do a lot of good to hit it directly at the hole and come up 20 feet short all the time. And that's what we all tend to do, is come up short. So I was interested right away because of what you're trying to do with golfers and to get them to hit the ball the right distance. I really like this because this is one more piece of the puzzle for a golfer to understand how far they hit the club. And tour players know how far they hit their clubs. And so if we don't go through this process, if we don't go through a fitting, we don't take the time to find out how far we hit these clubs, we're just guessing for the most part. So, again, the tour players know what they're hitting their clubs. And so this is a way for me or for my members to go find out how far they hit their clubs. And it's just one more part of playing golf that will help them shoot a better score. They're going to know how far they hit their clubs. They're going to hit the ball the right distance, and that's all going to add up to better golf scores. Okay, I'm 132 yards. This would normally be my 8-iron, but it's uphill and it's into the wind. My 7-iron's marked 140 to 145, so I'm going to go with the 7-iron. See if I can stick it close. Alright, that'll work. Alright, well, I hit my 7-iron. My 7-iron's marked 140 to 145. It landed 3, maybe 4 feet away. This is my ball mark right here. And rolled out a little bit and ended up about 8, this is 8 feet, 9 feet. Right there. And I stuck it close. Okay, well, I went through a distance fitting with stick it close. And for instance, on this shot, I was 132 yards. And normally I would have tried to push an 8-iron. But my 7-iron's marked 140 to 145, and this shot was uphill and a little bit into the wind. And so if you saw it, I landed about a yard away and ended up about 8 feet away. So what I know, distance control is so important. We think so much about hitting it online, but distance control is very important, and it certainly was in this case. We went out and we were on the last hole, and I was 132 yards, and so it was uphill into the wind, and I pulled out the 140 to 145 club, which happens to be my 7-iron, and without the yardages on there, I may have pulled out my 8-iron because I thought I hit my 8-iron a certain distance. And now I know that I hit it a little bit shorter than that. So I pulled out my 140 to 145 club, which is my 7-iron. Mm-hmm. So I think it helps to know how far we hit each club. And it's especially going to help a player who hasn't been playing for very long and they don't know how far they're hitting. They don't know how far they're hitting their clubs. And we have a lot of members who are beginners, and I think we all know that the average golfer shoots about 100, so they can use any and all the help that they can get to play better golf. And these stick it close labels on each club tells them how far they're hitting it, and they've gone through the fitting, so they know they're not guessing how far they hit those clubs. One of the things that we can do is we can include the labels in our lessons, in a package of lessons. So we get approached about lessons, and we explain to them that they can take one lesson or they can take a series of lessons, and then we can also let them know we also include the stick it close labels, and that's one more part of the package that makes it appealing. Another thing, like at the club, we do new member orientations. We can include it with that, because it's not only a way to, well, it's a benefit for the member, and it's also a way for us to get to know them, and we want to spend a little time with them anyway when they're new members. So this is a way to go down there and watch them hit some balls and fit them.